Alright, Shalom Yashala. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Akakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutation to you, Akim, for just pushing the truth in love and sincerity and in charity with all humility. Okay, this is the brother Yashawan from the GMS Bombers Camp. I could deal with another brief lesson. Okay, this is it's gonna be an impromptu. Okay, so yeah, my name of this lesson is entitled "The Churches Are No Different from the Brothel." The churches are no different from the brothel. Okay, the brothels. Alright. So now, before we get into the scripture, okay, I wanna just look up something right here. We're gonna look up Jesus. Okay. And then we can look at the images. Alright, of course, the Christian voice of Jesus. Right, which Christianity is somewhat over 2 billion followers. Okay. The biggest religion in the world. Okay, the biggest religion in the world. Christianity is the world's largest religion with over 2.3 to 2.6 billion followers, representing roughly 29 to 31% of the global population. That's almost like in half. Centered around who? JC. It is followed closely by Islam, with both being major Abrahamic faith. It remains the most geographically widespread. Okay, now you have the largest Christianity, 2.6 billion. Second is Islam, 2 billion. Third is Hinduism, 1.2 billion. Alright, so it's okay, while Christianity is currently largest, Islam is recognized as the fastest growing major religion. Alright, so now we see Christianity. Okay, now who does the Christians worship? JC, Jesus Christ. Okay, now as you see in these images, okay, now right, with him, anything goes. Anything goes because there's no laws with him. There's no governance with him. Doesn't the Christian say the laws is done away with? Alright, we now have him. Okay, well, he fulfilled the law. Which in he say he fulfilled. Okay, the law is fulfilled within him. Alright, does that mean now you could just break the law? So why did he say in John 14 and 15, if you love me, keep my commandments? But you Christians say the laws is no more. He also say in John 15 and 14, ye are my friends if ye do whatsoever I command you. Alright? So anyhow, we see in here is a white image. Okay? This is one of the favorite ones. This is another one of the favorite ones. This is another one of the favorite ones. Okay? This right here. Oh. Okay? So you see. Now. Alright? Let's go to Revelation 1 and 13. In the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to the foot, and girded about the paps with a golden girdle. His head and his hairs were white like wool. Right? As his eyes, as white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire, and his feet like unto a fine brass, as if they burned in a furnace, and his voice as the sound of many waters. Alright? His hair and his hairs were white like wool. As we seen, he's blonde. Okay? All of these images Okay, you only seeing no white hair. All right, we just dealing with the hair now. Oh, this is another favorite one here too. This one here, I grew up with this one. Okay, I even in my younger days, I even draw this one out. All right, okay, as you seen. All right, now they say now, right? They said, well, white like wolf with 14, as white as snow. His eyes were as a flame fire. So that's supposed to be more like almost red, right? Or red. Okay. None of these images, okay, shows that his eyes were red. Okay. You either see blue. Okay. All right. And this one here, they are more like a brownish. All right. So if you're gonna paint the depiction of the Lord, then paint it correctly. Okay. Now let's uh let's get the color now. For 15, on his feet like unto fine brass, if they burned in the furnace. All right. Now you take a brass. All right. And this is something we go into often. All right. Not often, but back then we will go into this often. Okay. All right. Fine brass burn. Okay. Now you see fine brass burnt. All right. What color it is? Now this obviously Christ color. All right. It's a beautiful one right here. Hebrew Israelite. Okay. Burnt brass. Okay. As you see here. See the guy on the right. All right. Okay. White hair, white beard, brass color looking skin. All right. So you can't get around that. You can't. Okay. So since you get that, all right. Let's see. Let's go to Yahweh Shai. All right. This is more image which you will see. White hair, white beard, skin, his feet, all right, with burnt like a fine brass. Okay, eyes red. All right. Okay, eyes red. All right. So this will be more of sort of an accurate image. Okay. You will not see. You would not see uh, what you're seeing like this right here. Okay. This is false. Okay, and this is what 2.6 billion worship. Not this. Okay. Now, though we have images, we're not worshiping images, but this is just a description that John have left. Okay. Now that we get that out, okay. So now you see that's a big flicking lie. Okay. But Christians, they will still go ahead and do what they gotta do. Okay. They will still go inside the harlot houses as though they go to the Brothels. All right. The Lord said that He entered. Okay. Not no temples made with hands. Okay. Acts 7 and 48. Howbeit the Most High dwelleth not in temples made with hands, as say the prophet. Okay. Now, when you look at these churches today, okay, they are without law. Okay, they are out with out commandments because they say the laws and commandments is no more. Okay, so how do you measure righteousness and wickedness without the law, without any governance, without any commandments. How do you measure it? Okay, in the workplace they have rules. All right, in the government, all right, of with our countries, they have rules. In court they have rules, but in Christianity there's no rules. Okay, see, in our heritage, the Hebrew Israelites, okay, there's rules, there's instructions what we live by, which are the ways of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. And where the rules is that we cannot keep, that's where grace come in. Okay, that's where grace come in. So how do they measure righteousness and wickedness? Okay, this is why Pastor Pork Chop, Deacon the Bacon, and Reverend have them and say, come as you are. Okay, God don't look at the outward, he look at the inward. But whatsoever in the inward is got to come out in the outward. All right? Okay? So you telling me now, all right, you being a sissy, okay, that is against the law. Okay, we know the judgment for you being like a man like another man, and a woman like another woman. All right, we know the judgment for that. All right? But they saying that, hey, that is no more. This is why they assemble themselves in the harlot houses, in the brothels, because no laws is in there. This is Jeremiah 5:7. How shall I pardon thee for this? Thy children have forsaken me, and sworn by them that there is no gods. When I had fed them to the full, they then committed idolatry, and assembled themselves by troops in the harlot houses. Okay? Now when you go into this translation, the AMP version, they say, why should I overlook these offenses and forgive you? This is where our Bashem Yahushua is saying, your children have abandoned, which is rejected me, and sworn by their oaths, because all Israel have sworn by the oath of Yahweh, to Yahweh Bashem Yahushua through Moses, by those who are and sworn their oaths by those gods who are no gods. All right, so like they sworn to those who cannot save them. Okay, who are no gods. All right, Jesus Christ. Okay, Selassie, Shiva. All right, they are no gods. When I fed them until they were full, and I bound them to me by a promise. Okay, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. They committed spiritual idolatry. Okay, they committed spiritual adultery. That's when they go and worshiping these other gods. Assembling in troops at the houses of prostitutes, idols. Okay, they assembled themselves by the troops in the harlot houses. Okay, now let me just get another translation with say the Brothels, right? Okay, and then we can look up that word Brussels. Okay, all right. I like this SMG, but I'm gonna come right back to that. Okay, we can go the NLT. How can I pardon you? For even your children have turned from me. They have sworn by gods that are no gods at all. All right, that's who they pledge their allegiance to no God. But they thank me. So like, they have sworn by gods that are no gods. I fed my people until they were full, but they thanked me by committing adultery and lining up at the brothels. So when they go to these churches, aren't they doing the same thing? Okay, aren't they doing the same thing? Uh-huh. Okay. Uh, all right. So let's go back here to the MSG. Say, why should I even bother with you any longer? Your children wandered off, leaving me, taking up with gods that aren't even flicking gods. So JC ain't no flicking God. All right. He ain't no God. Yahweh Shai is the God. Okay. The Son of the living power. All right. You say, I satisfy their deepest needs. All right. And they went off with the sacred horse, left me for orgies in sex shrines, a bunch of well-groomed, lusty stallions, each one pouring and snorting for his neighbor's wife. Adultery is physical and spiritual. Do you think I'm going to stand around and do nothing? Okay, the Most High decree. Don't you think I'll take serious measures against a people like this? Huh? So, again, if no laws in the place, then how do they measure righteousness and wickedness? Okay? So now, let's look up this word, Brothels. Okay? Salakia. Alright? Brothel. Okay? Is it here? Brothel. Brothel. A house or other premises where people pay to have sex with prostitutes. Okay? Now, there's no laws inside there. There's a bunch of idol worshippers, idolatry, okay? Murderers, okay? A bunch of people with malice in their hearts, all kind of folly inside there, okay? And that's just what these churches are today, okay? Because remember now, they say, come as you are. You could do whatever you want to do. Just ask the Lord for forgiveness. You see? God hates the sinner, not the sinner. Okay? So there's no laws in there. Okay? I started to watch that TV series with Tyler Perry's brought out Beauty, Select Beauty in Black, right? And that whole flicking series, I couldn't even watch that no more. All right, that is all you have: idolatry, gayness, sissiness, murderers, stealers, robbers, everything inside that one show. Okay, and Jake's supporting that big time. Okay, so that's like the churches today. Everything is inside there. But Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Okay? So the scriptures say, Jeremiah 5:7, how shall I pardon thee for this? Thy children have forsaken me and sworn by them that are no gods. When I fed them to the full, they then committed idolatry and assembled themselves by troops in the harlot houses. Because there's no laws in there. There's no rules and regulations. Okay? Their way of life isn't in there. Okay? Matthew 6:23. For the commandment is a lamp, and the law is light, and reproof of instructions, which are commandments, the ways of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, are the ways of life. Alright? So this is why they go up inside there, because there's no way of life in there. What that is gonna do? Say, to keep you from the evil woman, all of these different doctrines, these different religions, and from the flattery of the tongue of a strange woman, of a strange teachings. Okay? So us who know Yahweh Shem Yahushai, we know the truth. We know not the step foot inside these harlot houses the talk, but we're gonna learn this or learn that. Alright? So yeah, man. So with that, hey, Lord will this lesson was edified. I'd like to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Kodash, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutation to you, Akim, which is pushing the truth in love and sincerity and in charity with all humility. Okay, Shalom and a Bar Kwam Yashiala.